In this video, we're going to have a look at the new Honda Super One EV. So it's Honda's new small EV that's based on its K car, the N1 in Japanese markets. But interestingly, it's been upsized, it has a bit more power, a bit more sporty tendencies, and it's going to be available in a lot of international markets such as Australia. So we'll have a look at the key specs, the design inside out, and we'll figure out why Honda decided to make this available outside of Japan. So starting off with kind of the context behind the car, Honda says that it's a spiritual successor to the Honda City Turbo Bulldog from the early 1980s, and perhaps indirectly the Honda E electric car from 2020. You can really tell that it's got that real aggressive stance like the old City Bulldog. I think in terms of design direction, it's a big departure from the Honda E, which is a little bit more pared back and simplified. But this one has a different direction for Honda, who have tried to look at how they can make this vehicle a bit more appealing to more people. So you can see in the exterior, it's got reshaped bumpers compared to the standard N1. It has functional air ducts, blister fenders, a roof spoiler, rear ducts at the front and rear, so all to apparently reduce drag and manage airflow. It has a custom chassis setup, so it has a lower suspension. This is all for improved handling. And then also has a new set of 15-inch alloy wheels in matte black and a machine face with Yokohama tires. It's a little bit bigger than the N1, so you've got 194 millimeters more length, 98 millimeters wider, and 71 millimeters more height than the standard N1. So not insignificant, but the wheelbase is the same. Importantly, though, the weight for an electric vehicle is still very low. So it's only 1,100 kilograms, and it has a 70 kilowatt motor. Depending on the mode, in boost mode, it can get that extra boost of power, and that can be controlled by a button on the steering wheel that simulated gear changes, a more powerful sound in the cabin, and shows some simulations of the tachometer as well, so that increases the sportiness of the vehicle. The boost mode really bumps up that performance with short bursts, basically to improve the driving involvement and make it a little bit more exciting as a car. We don't really know the battery capacity yet, but we know that the N1E uses a 30 kilowatt hour units. This might be a little bit bigger than that. So they're trying to really position this as a sporty vehicle, something like the Ioniq 5N and the Kia E6 GT, but also in the smaller package and nimbler package. And then inside, it's very much a carryover from the Honda N1, but it has a few little touches such as reshaped seats, some purple accents, and some custom graphics as well. Overall, it looks like it's got a few different and very deliberate customizations to make it stand out a bit more than the standard car and have that real sporty edge that makes it more involving to drive as well. Let's have a look at the exterior now. It's launched in this beautiful purple color. It's very much a retro-inspired design, looking like something from the early 1960s or 70s. Very much simplified front section here that it looks a little bit like the Honda E. So you've got that circular headlamp graphic. All of this is matte as well. Very much a simplified front bumper with just a couple of air curtains inside and a straightforward bumper. So not really too complicated, which is in line with Honda's wide design philosophy these days. A blacked out roof as well. The side profile looks very retro. It's got a very strong crease line going down through the door handles, as you can see as well. So not as modern looking as the previous Honda E, but still quite interesting to look at, especially with these flared arches that you can see here. That really give it a bit more of a stance and an aggressive look. You can see those 15-inch matte black alloy wheels here, which look very sporty, but also not really designed for error as much as you might see on other EVs, but still very much an aesthetically pleasing design. And the rear side here, you've got some nice looking tail lamps. I do like the shape here that's integrated nicely into the rear glass here. And the new Honda lettering spelled out as well. Very simplified rear end, obviously nothing really crazy going down here, no diffuser or anything like that. A couple of air curtains to measure that match up to the front as well. But yeah, overall a classy and nice design, especially with the more aggressive touches such as those flared wheel arches here. But it's got a bit of a futuristic vibe with some of the headlamp detailing, but then also the retro vibe, the standard K car silhouette, and then also the side profile will just definitely looks a little bit more retro. Comparing it to a couple of the other cars, so you've got the Bulldog here, and you can definitely see some resemblance, especially with the circular headlamps. Those flared arches have definitely been pulled over to the new car as well. The Bulldog, for its time, it was a fast car, even though it was just based on the small Honda City, still had around 80 kilowatts. It's actually similar power to the new Super One. The good thing about the new car is that it is quite lightweight for an EV, which is quite promising for the handling as well. Compared to the Honda E, I love this car in particular. This design, when it came out, looked fresh, and it still does, and it probably still looks newer than the new Super One. Unfortunately, back then battery technology wasn't great. The range wasn't too outstanding as well. So it was probably ahead of its time a little bit. I think if they release a refreshed version of this exact design, but just with an updated battery and more up-to-date charging specs as well, it might be a bit more of a success. But I still do like how this car looks overall. If we move on to the interior here, it's very much like the standard N1, but you've got some of the purple detailing that matches the exterior. Here, you've just got the standard gear shift controls that are now available in a lot of Hondas. But otherwise, a very straightforward, horizontally designed interior with the real buttons, tactile air vents, and then a nice, simple display here with intuitive controls. So, very much in keeping with a lot of modern Honda interiors. Nothing too interesting or outstanding here, but you've got some really nice sports seats that are well bolstered, come in a couple of interesting finishes as well, which is good. And then here you can see that boost button, which could be quite fun, especially in an electric vehicle for an instant boost of power and overtaking. I imagine they're trying to make this feel a little bit more like a go-kart and give it that little kind of extra fun factor as well. So I imagine it'll be quite a fun car to drive. It probably won't have the widest appeal, definitely have a niche appeal. Maybe they even try to look at something like the Toyota GR Yaris as well and try to get in on that market, even if they're taking a very different approach with the full EV powertrain rather than a petrol motor, which the Yaris is quite revered for at the moment. If we compare this interior to the Honda E interior, I do think this was a lot nicer. When Honda came out with this, they had this vision of a lounge-like feel, and you can see that in the seat fabrics, this fake wood trim here that you've got across the dashboard, and then alongside the center console here, you got screens all the way along the dashboard, which isn't my favorite feature of the car, but it does show how futuristic and forward-thinking this car was when it came out in 2020. It's interesting that they've gone away from some of the flashiness of their initial electric vehicle. They've probably saved a bit of money by basing it on the existing Super One as well. But yeah, I think overall, this is an interesting approach for Honda to try and get back in the small EV market. We think about why it may be released in some of the international markets, such as Australia. I think they're trying to really hit a price point, and they know that, especially with some of the petrol-powered vehicles, in Australia at least, they had fixed pricing. So they would have thought that if they released an EV that was a little bit bigger, a little bit more luxurious, I think they wouldn't have been competitive at all with some of the Chinese brands, Koreans, and even Japanese brands such as Toyota, who have started to come out with a few more affordable EVs. So I think in order to keep the price down, they've gone with a smaller, maybe cheaper to develop car, hoping that they can cash in on some nostalgia value and then also tap into the enthusiasts, especially in Australia, where there are a lot of driving enthusiasts. I think we probably over index compared to other parts in the world. It depends on how this is priced. I think if it's around $35,000, then it has a chance. But if it's over $45,000 starting, I think it's probably dead on arrival. So if Honda prices smart, this might be a little bit of a win for them, and we might see these running around. I don't expect it to be a volume seller, but it will be cool to see some of these and drive this one day because it does look quite fun to drive as well. So that's the new Honda Super One. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe to watch more of this content.